Yes, I'm ready.
Viewers, today we discuss the Jhanvi Kukreja verdict after 5 years. As you know, our channel has been following this case for 5 long years. We have observed how a mother, a working woman, Nidhi Kukreja, has sat through the delays, the forensic debates, and the agonizing silence of the courtroom all alone, while perhaps dying several times within. If we were to step back 5 years back, New Year's Eve is supposed to be about beginnings. But on January 1st, 2021, on a cold rooftop in Khar, a beginning was violently cut short for the smart, beautiful 19-year-old Jhanvi Kukreja, who didn't make it to the countdown. She was found in a trail of blood that stretched across 3 floors of a residential building. A crime scene so brutal, it left 48 injuries on a girl who only wanted to celebrate with her friends. On January 31st, 2026, this year, the silence finally broke. A Mumbai Sessions Court delivered a verdict that has divided the city once again. Life imprisonment for Sri Jogdankar, the man who left the scene with a cool head and an indifferent heart. But for Diya Padalkar, Janvi's childhood friend, the girl who grew up in the house next door, the verdict was acquittal. After a 5 year long legal battle, the court brought some closure to a case that shocked the city due to its sheer brutality and the young age of those involved. For the law, a chapter was closed, but for Janvi's mother, Nidhi Kukreja, something didn't add up. How did 48 injuries, a struggle across multiple floors, and a presence at the scene result in a benefit of doubt? Today, we're joined by Nidhi Kukreja, the mother. She has attended every single hearing for 1,857 days. She isn't here to celebrate a partial victory. She's here to talk about the fight that is just beginning in the High Court. We're also joined by one of the most respected lawyers in Mumbai, Special Public Prosecutor Pradeep Gharat, who is a key figure to understanding what happened in this case and the future legal steps they plan to take. So, welcome to both of you. Welcome, Nidhi.
Well,
So, Nidhi, my first question is towards you. Thank you for being here. After waiting for 5 years for this moment, when the judge read out those two different fates for Sri, Jogdankar, and Diya, what was the first thought that went through your mind?
I mean, I was in a mixed of emotions. Um, yes, I was very sure, not hoping, but very sure both would get convicted because we've been through the trials. The way our lawyers have, conducted the trials, I was 100% sure. I was 100% sure that both would be because every hearing, every arguments, Pradeep ji is here. He has got very beneficial points to the case, studying the case day and night, showing her involvement. And the best thing is, the court itself has shown her presence. So we were little, yes, the boys convicted, life imprisonment. Yes, we are, I would not even say, I mean, we are happy with that, but the girl's involvement is equally there, and we would have been more satisfied if she would have also been convicted. Because I've been through the trials, I've seen my lawyers, how they have been, I've seen Advocate Garatji, how he has even minute things he's pinpointed. So there was no chance that she was given benefit of doubt.
Absolutely. Now,
And
so
the
my
girl, I
question,
have brought her up. So, my emotions are different for her because I've brought her up. So I know what we have seen her in court also. She's been so cold about things. I mean, I don't know what to say.
We understand, Nidhi. Since we've been in contact for in the past 5 years, I've understood every step that has been taken. Now, my question also is, how can a person who was physically present during a brutal assault involving 48 injuries and a struggle across multiple floors yet be ruled as having no intention? The court also noted that Dia had a lip injury and gave false history to the hospital about how it happened. However, the judge ruled that this wasn't enough to prove she committed a murder. Now, my question would be, if the injury was sustained during the scuffle that killed Jhanvi, and if Dia lied about it to doctors, similar to how Jagdankar lied about his injuries, why was that conduct not treated as a sign of culpability? Is my question to Pradeep ji.
You see, I am also shocked to hear the pronouncement that Dia is given the benefit of doubt. As you say that the chapter is closed, but it's not really it's closed. Still the doors are open to us by challenging the order in the appellate court. Because the reasoning is very absurd. The honorable judge, that means I have carefully gone through the reasoning and now I'm going to recommend the appeal to the government on the certain points which are not convincing. Because, as you rightly said, the learned judge is pleased to admit the presence of Dia also at the place. He has recorded the conduct of Dia, as you said, that the injury which had been received by her on her lips, it was brought to the notice of the court that injuries are equally received by Janvi also on her mouth, on her lips only. And the injuries were the bite marks. Four bite marks were there. That means four times she had bitten to, Dia had bitten to Janvi. So is it the learned judge has taken as the cooperation of Dia with the deceased Jahnavi, because the reasoning is that she did not shout. She had been shocked, under shocked condition. She could not raise her voice. It is very absurd reasoning when the active role is seen of this girl in the offense. Not only that she received the injury, but there were clamps and strands of hair everywhere from the fifth floor to second floor. If you see that if the all the guilty mind is to be attributed to Shri, it is never possible that the girl fights with a girl by pulling her hair, so that these clamps and strands should fail everywhere on the walls, on the floor, on the grills of the staircase. It's definitely not possible. The learned judge had to have considered that both the girls had pulled their hairs. That means Jahnavi's hair was pulled in with such a force that the strands and clamps fell everywhere. Because if you see, even with the quarrel between the women, when they pull the hair of the another side lady, and even if she touches, her head touches the floor, then also the hair does not come out. But here in this case, where the clamps and strands of hair everywhere. So what type of violence was used against Jahnavi by Dia? So, learned judge, in my opinion, which I am giving to the state, has miserably failed to consider these circumstances. Moreover, if it was so that she was a silent spectator, what prevented her from shouting? If we have to go
Yeah.
by the logic of the learned judge. Or when she came back to the second floor after receipt of the injury. What prevented her from telling all those inmates that the Jahnavi has been attacked in very fierce manner? She has fallen down. Please go and help her. Take her to the hospital immediately. What prevented her? So these are the serious flaws which the learned judge has not taken into consideration while giving her the benefit of doubt. Moreover, whatever pleaded by Dia was that that means her conduct, that she did not ask about Jahnavi when she received the injury. and she was pleading to these people who were attending her, to her friends, that to take her to the hospital, Hinduja hospital. She did not ask as to where was Jahnavi, what happened to her, or she had come from home accompanying Jahnavi, so she would go back to home with Jahnavi only. Please call Jahnavi like that if she was unaware as to where Jahnavi was. But here the judge has accepted that she was there only, and when all the evidence is to show that Dia was Dia had actively participated in the offense, and thereafter also, if the honorable judge gives the benefit of doubt to Dia, it was really very shocking, and I have recommended the state to consider it very seriously to appeal the reasoning in the judgment.
Uh, what you said is very
Thank you.
correct, Pradeep ji. See, because the question then is, why did she not raise an alarm or call for help
Right,
if her childhood
right,
friend was being brutally murdered just a few feet from her? So this is something very, very odd, because
right,
this girl was her best friend, and if they did
right.
not raise any sort of alarm,
Yes.
I mean, what does it mean? I mean, how can they come to this kind of judgment? So before we go on to that, Pradeep ji, can you just tell us how, for the sake of the viewers, what is the how did they describe this scene of crime?
Scene of crime was
What
that
was the
judge should.
reason? I mean, are they saying that Jhanvi was jealous, and when Sri Joglankar was flirting with this girl, and that is why when she questioned, she was attacked? Is that the premise? Because Nidhi very clearly said that she was never involved with this boy at all.
See, whatever it had been, we have to go by the evidence. The evidence has come that she gave a phone call to her friend that she was very much disturbed because of the conduct of Sri Jogdankar. And she did not want to lose even Shri or Dia also. And she was crying. So some disturbance was there which had resulted in some altercation, must have resulted, but thereafter the result of that altercation must be this fearful attack, violent and forceful attack by both these accused on her, because the conduct of Dia is very unnatural if we apply the logic of ordinary person. Keeping a mum, you said that she was friend, I say that even a third person also, disinterested person also sees any attack on any person, immediately person shouts, please save him or separate them or like that. But here it has not happened because she herself has actively participated in the attack. She has pulled the hair of Jahnavi.
So in which case, the questions that remain are the same. That will haunt every parent like Nidhi. See, if your child is in danger and her best friend is standing right there, where does the moral obligation end and the legal one
Right.
begin? Isn't this what the court should tell us? Is silence in the face of brutality a benefit of doubt or a form of complicity? Is the question that we are asking.
This benefit of doubt itself is shocking. When the learned judge admits the presence of both the accused at the place, when the learned judge admits that there was a fight, that she has received the injury, on what basis is he gives the benefit of doubt? Can the learned judge cause by rational thinking that because of the fear of Shri she kept silence? Can it be accepted when the active participation is there? Which is the challengeable point in this judgment before the Honorable High Court?
Yeah. So you say that
There is a
even
clear cut discrimination, clear
so.
cut discrimination between both the accused.
Yeah. So what I want to understand is that if there were, if the Jhanvi Kukreja's blood was there on the articles used by Dia, why was
Right.
this deemed insufficient to prove her complicity? Does the acquittal of the co-accused weaken the theory of a common intention or a coordinated assault?
See, in fact, the overall evidence proves Dia's presence at the place, the her actual participation in the crime. The learned judge therefore had no alternative but to accept the presence. and to accept that she had also taken part in the fight. But since if the London judge had his mind to acquit her, then under the guise of the benefit of doubt, she has been acquitted. But
So Pradeep ji,
which will be the point raised in the appeal.
yeah. So Pradeep ji, another question. Now the court recently flagged the evidence was carelessly handled, wrapped in a bedsheet rather than sealed. To what extent did these procedural lapses by the car police contribute to the acquittal of the second accused?
See, procedural lapses were definitely there, and I had argued also on the procedural lapses. But I had prayed before the court that it was in two parts. The things or the events which had taken place prior to police enter the scene, and the post incidents on entry of the police to the scene. So if see certain things, the anybody, the learned judge has no alternative but to accept. That means Dia, Janvi, and Sri came together on a scooter, three of them. The second thing, they participated in the party. They were sitting on the other side of the terrace. Only these three. So thereafter, they three together came in the stairs and were sitting there. And in the stairs, their fighting started. Thereafter, they went from the eighth floor to fifth floor, fighting there because thereafter we find the various strands and clamps of hair, pool of blood everywhere, and so many things, the incriminating things. It means articles belonging to Jahnavi, articles belonging to Dia, which had not been challenged by the defense that these are not the articles of Dia. So those articles, if were also lying there at the spot of offense, at the crime offense, the learned judge had no alternative but to accept that. Therefore, it was made only the question of interpretation. So after accepting all this, the judge had concluded, as you said, and benefit of doubt is a very large thing. It can be given to anyone, even if the judge accepts the entire story. The question will be the interpretation or the conclusion of the judge that I have to give the benefit of doubt is correct or not.
So, was there any digital or forensic evidence like deleted messages or call logs that could have further established the motive of romantic jealousy that the prosecution argued?
See, once the presence of all the three had been admitted at the spot, there was no question of for the prosecution to bring anything on record in respect of call details, who called whom at what time, except the call given by Jannavi to her friend in a disturbed state of mind. That was the only cause. Or previous or subsequent calls were not of so importance in this case, considering the factual aspects. Therefore, prosecution, that is, I did not go to those aspects. If the facts, events were acceptable to both the parties, everything was admitted by them. Therefore, the Honorable Court had no other alternative. It had to be accepted. And I therefore separated the actual incident, the unchallengeable facts which the defense had not accepted, or the evidence which the defense itself had brought on record through the cross examination, the factual aspects which were brought on record. Therefore, the conduct of the police post incident, that means after the incident, when they entered the scene, when they come to the spot, was a totally different thing. And the Honorable Supreme Court has already said that for whatever reason, if the lapses and lacunae in the prosecution, this thing, police investigation, if they do not affect the prosecution case, they are not to be considered. Passing serious remarks about their this defective investigation, recommending any action against them will be a different thing. But it would definitely not affect the prosecution case at any point of time.
So, Nidhi, my question is towards you. Now, see, when this incident happened, These two landed up at the hospital, and they did not inform, the best friend did not, Dia did not inform you or your husband about what has happened to Jhanvi Kukreja. Did these facts also come out in the court, that you were told about it, or you knew about it so late? So, what did this also come up in the, in the legal proceedings?
Yes, it did. Because, before her, her parents are just next door. So definitely they have gone, taken their daughter to the hospital. So why is it that they have not rang a bell? What stopped them? When two girls, like Sir said, when two of them have gone together, isn't it a moral responsibility that they should come back together? Even the boy, if the boy takes two girls out, isn't it his moral responsibilities to see that the girl is dropped back home? He has just left the premise. I mean, the parents have not bothered to inform us. They have reached the hospital at 2:45, which is seen on CCTV. In the court, it is seen that 2:45 she has been admitted in Hinduja hospital. So what made the parents? I would first blame the parents. Why they did not ring the bell when we had a family connection and they were just next door? They didn't have to go anywhere. What stopped them? And
So my
in a recent interview, I would just like to interrupt you, Minaji. In a
Yeah,
recent
please.
paper interview, it is so hilarious. Sir and me were just discussing it. It was so hilarious. The father writes that I was not aware of it. That shows how the father is. How is he not aware of it? Means he is not asked Dia, where is Janvi? He has not asked. He's only bothered about his daughter, and he's put a quote. He's put a quote that she was like my daughter. Oh my God. If she was like your daughter, what were you doing? Why didn't you take her first? She had a head injury. Dia just had a lip injury. Dia did not have a head injury. Janvi had a head injury. Who needed hospitalization, medical emergency? And you're writing, you never came for the funeral. You never came to meet us. If she was your daughter, you would be standing with us. You would be fighting with us, not standing against us. A mode of conduct in the court, the parents' mode of conduct is seen by all. So knows it how their behavior was. So how can you say she was my daughter? At least give her that respect. Don't talk just because your daughter has been given benefit of doubt. It's too soon to talk. I feel that we are still in the appeal stage. You never know when the tables turn, and tomorrow she might be inside again.
So now my question, Pradeep ji, is a question that most of the viewers will ask in such a brutal case where
Yes.
you have 48 injuries. I don't know from where this man or the woman had, did they have a knife? Did they have? How did they hurt her? Now that's not my question. My question is, how come for murdering a girl, the penalty is only imprisonment, life imprisonment, and not death penalty? That is also worrying me. I mean, the two should have got death penalty for killing a woman, isn't it? So judges being kind to one lady and telling the other guy that you have life imprisonment. Why was it not death penalty? You have murdered a
Yes.
girl.
Yeah. Before replying this, one thing I want to state that Nidhi Madam had raised this issue. If the families were so close that they were residing in the adjacent flats, if the parents of Dia were aware that all the three had left together, so when they left for the hospital in those early hours of the morning, they were duty bound to inform Nidhi also. They might not have known as to what had happened, but they were duty bound to inform Nidhi Madam and Prakash ji that something to happen to the children. We have to go to, or to our daughter. We don't know about Jahnavi, but we are required to go to the hospital. You can also come with us. If their minds were clear, if they had no guilty mind, they should have said so to Nidhi Madam and Prakashji to accompany them, or at least to inform them, which has not been done. Now, so far as the death sentence is concerned, please consider that death sentence is given in rarest of rare cases, and there are the criteria for which the death sentence is given. So the present case does not come within the ambit of those criteria. So considering all the circumstances, violence and everything, therefore judge might not have given it. And even if the death sentence is given, then the question of confirmation comes from the High Court. Then they can appeal to the Supreme Court. Then they can give the mercy pleadings to the president, and it takes the life. However, even if the life imprisonment given, then let us be certain that the conscience of that person will keep biting him for the whole life, and to the parents also, because this will be the punishment to the parents also, who neglected the conduct of their of his behavior. They totally neglected, parents of accused number one. Or even after we file the appeal, then one way it will be the punishment to Dia's parents also, for whatever negligence was there on their part also, or the trial they have faced. Because according to me, if you see, not only they have given the grief to Nidhi madam and her family for the whole life, but equally their families have also been destroyed because of the negligence of their parents. I will blame more to those parents only of these two accused persons who
So the
have
question
destroyed
comes,
their own lives.
yeah, the question then comes back to the same thing. If your child is in danger and the best friend is standing right there, where does the moral obligation end and the legal one begin? So if in case it was the tables had turned and Dia was on the other side and Janvi was on this side, do you think Janvi would have just watched all this and gone to the hospital like Dia did and not informed the parents? So this is something
Definitely
that,
not.
yeah.
Definitely not. If the conscience of Jhanvi would have been clear, if she had not done it, then definitely she would urge that take care of Dia first, that she is lying there. She is required to be taken to the hospital to save her life. Definitely, this would have been the conduct either of Jhanvi or of any other girl, if her conscience would have been clear, which was not the case of Dia. She already knew. Even if you see the CCTV footage, which is available, she has gone to the hospital barefooted, and when she crosses that, she never, her guilty conscience can be seen from that she avoids to look at the place where Jahnavi was lying, at the ground floor. This could have been very well seen if somebody sees that video footage, CCTV footage. So
So
all the
my
way the conduct is guilty, all the way.
yeah. So my question will be, what the viewers will also say. So where is, I mean, justice has not been given. Justice has not been given in the way that the people wanted it. For 5 years, we have been closely following what has happened to Janvi and what has happened to the family of Janvi. Because every day, a working woman is, crying and going to the court every time she's called to the court, and she doesn't go with her daughter because she doesn't want her daughter to see all this, that's happening in the court, and with regards to her dead sister, and she is alone bearing all this. Now if as viewers we look at Nidhi, we can also put ourselves in her place and say that, see, tomorrow if our child dies, is this how the court is going to look at the whole case? So there is absolutely no faith in the kind of verdict that has been issued in the case of Jhanvi Kukreja.
Please see, this verdict I expected to be deterrent, not only to the person or the youths who commit such offense, but to their parents also, because the instances have increased. You must have read in the newspaper for the entire year that sometime at the midnight the boy or girl takes the car and goes away to dance and drink in the pub, and thereafter while returning they commit some accident and the poor innocent people on the road die. That Porsche accident at Pune, that worldly accident in Mumbai, all this belonging to the higher state of society. Do their parents do not see at such odd hours where their children go? If the girls leave the girl at the midnight, Are the parents not expected to keep watch as to where they are going? Are they going in the temple to perform the bhajan or going in the pubs? So this should give the message to all the parents, not only to the accused persons, but to all the parents that they should maintain discipline in case of their children. They should keep proper watch. They should make their children responsible. Ask them as to where are they going, when they should go, not at such odd hours to enjoy what is going on. I may be called orthodox for this type of thinking, but I cannot restrain myself from telling this that the parents should exercise proper control on their children.
You know, partially we were partially we were convinced that okay, the boys got, but at one this we were not. I mean, I can't explain. I was totally in mixed emotions. I didn't know what. See, this is no thing to celebrate for us. We have lost our child, but yes, at least we could get her some justice. The 5 year trial, the way our lawyers have been, taking up this case and fighting each, it's very easy to say, but for them after court also it is to go through the charge sheet, many times to remove small loopholes. Since I have attended each and every hearing, I can understand how they have to prepare and how they were fighting it to get the girl justice. So I mean, I had no words. I had no words. In fact, I was so this that I don't know if the court allows. I even told the judge. I said, I'm happy that you partially, but I'm not happy that she was given benefit of doubt. I stood there with my lawyers and I spoke to him. Yes, he was kind enough to listen to me. Normally they don't, but I stood there for about 10 to 12 minutes and I told him that why did you give her a benefit of doubt? I have brought up the child. I know how it is. I explained to him everything. So that kind of emotions, I was in totally mixed emotions. I had no because people don't understand. I have a house to go back. I have to take care of my husband. I have to take care of my child. Our loss is not going to be, my child is gone. She's not going to come back. Least we could get, and knowing Dia, what she is, her mode of conduct, what it has been, and how they have, backstabbed us, and they have not, okay, even if she was not there, why didn't after we finished, after we got the verdict, why didn't she come up to me? Why did the parents not come up to me? Like their mode of behavior, their conduct only shows that they are guilty. We are not saying anything. Like Sir said, when she walked past, we have seen the CCTV cameras, ma'am, in the court. So we know how it is. I have seen it in court. They have seen it before while studying the case. So when she moved, she didn't even look once. And she's the childhood friend. At least she would have said, "अरे जानवी को क्या हुआ? मैं देखूं तो at least कैसे गिर गई? क्या हुआ?" That's a very natural behavior. She just walked past. She just walked past. How is it possible? You tell me.
So, my question back to you, Pradeep ji, is that
Yes.
see, in this car building, when this kind of murder happened, were there no people who saw it? Were there no people who knew what was happening? What happened to the boy who was celebrating the New Year's Eve in his flat? I mean, does he have nothing more to say? There is much more in this, is what people on the outside would say. So, just to, I'm not saying that two people should not be punished for that, but weren't there more people involved in this? Is what I'm asking, Pradeep ji, because I would say now from the little evidences we had that there was a drug peddler there, and that drugs were being given, and was this sort of ferocious nature on the boys' side, effects of drug, some sort of synthetic drugs. What happened? I mean, why aren't the other people telling the truth about what happened to Jhanvi Kukreja?
See, once the matter is such that there is no eyewitness. Therefore, we are concentrating on the natural conduct of the girl.
No, here again,
Naturally,
I'll
if you
interrupt
see,
you, sir.
yeah,
I'll interrupt
yeah,
you, sir. When you say there is
huh,
no eyewitness, when somebody is
yes,
shouting even in the street, everybody will come out and look, right?
right,
In this,
right,
this girl, her hair was pulled out, clumps of hair was coming out, her skin was
yeah,
hissing. She was in a pool of blood. You mean to say she
yeah.
did not scream when she died, and there were floods all over?
That is a mystery on which we discussed, because if you see that they were celebrating on the terrace and there must be so shout or the sound of music that nobody heard. Even it was surprising, in the building also nobody did not hear the shouts. Only one lady had given the evidence that she heard the sound of somebody falling down. That is the only evidence which has come. But it is very disturbing factor that nobody heard screams, because if there's such a free fight, both of them must be screaming. They must be screaming. But in that sound of the music, I presume that nobody heard. Not only that, but in the evidence, now Shri has been convicted, therefore I don't want to make any comment on that. But after coming on the road, two boys who were passing thereby in their car asked him for the help and asked him as to whose blood it was. He said that it is not my blood. So eyewitness as such is not there. Therefore, the conduct becomes important. See, if you see that three persons come together and if they have to go at the odd hours of the night or early in the morning to their home, naturally, if I go with somebody, I will think that if I go to the hospital, how my friend will go home? Who will take her? At least I must show such care for my friend. Whether has Dia taken such care? Did she care that if she goes to the hospital with the two, how Jana will go to home? If she had come there with Shri, where was Shri? Whether she would be taking,
So,
Shri
so
would be
then my
taking her to
yeah.
home.
So then my next question is: at what time did Janvi die? Because if she had been brought earlier, she would have still been alive, isn't it?
See, attack was so fierce and forceful that she died on the spot, because uh, see, Dia, Nidhi madam is the mother. We did not want to show the photograph. And I always prevented her from going through the photograph. She could not have borne those, seeing those photographs. But such type of injuries were there. The way she met with the death, the very injury referred on her head, it resulted in the instant death. Such a fearful and violent fight was there.
So, sir, what I could only gather is that the powerful, the rich people, and the powerful have won again in this case where Dia has been, left free on, and the other person, of course, he has deserved life imprisonment. That's fine, but I fully endorse what Nidhi says that she cannot celebrate because for 5 years every day she has been dying 100 times. You're
Right.
thinking of what happened to her daughter. Now, can you tell me, sir, what is going to be the next course of action?
Yes, exactly that what I was going to say. That I assure Nidhi madam that the feeling which she has, that the entire and whole justice has not been done, is exactly my feeling also. And let her be feel assured that we are not going to leave or spare the culprits. In appeal, we will definitely fight to get the justice for
So
Janhavi.
is the appeal only for Dia?
It will be only for Dia.
Yeah. Otherwise, the process will be completely going again and again.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because
So
because Shri has already been punished.
yeah.
The punishment which is prescribed for the offense, that is the life imprisonment, is given to him.
Yeah. Yes, Nidhi, you wanted to say something.
No, I agree. I agree totally with because I have attended each and every, I mean, every hearing I have attended.
Hearing I have
So
attended.
I know how they have argued and
So I know
how
how they
they
have
have.
argued and how they have.
So so
So
there was. So
so
I
there
know,
was. So
where we come from and
I know
how.
where we come from and
You
how.
can just mute yourself. Yeah. Yes,
So
yes.
it's very astonishing for me that she was given benefit of doubt, reasons I unknown to me. Still, for me, the truth has not come out. I still don't know what happened, what conspired them to do this. Like you just said, that nobody heard her screams and nobody heard. I just, I my thing is, now three of them were involved. Okay, who knows? Dia shut her mouth so that she could not make noise. Is it there's possibility, no? Or Shri shut her mouth so that she could not make any noise, because her presence has been marked, and her presence has been uh, marked. Her presence has been there. So how is that? Maybe, sir, I was just saying, who knows? One of them shut her mouth so that she could not scream. Possibility is there, no?
Can't say anything because there is no eyewitness. If
No,
during
I'm
interrogation,
talking as a I'm
if
talking
the
as a
police could
mother.
have,
I'm talking as a mother.
yeah, I understand, but we have to go by the material which comes on record. Because see, after the offense, police interrogate the persons also. So they have been interrogated, but throughout they have said, Shri has said that they don't remember anything. You are well aware from the material how many excuses were given by Dia. Once she said that she fallen somewhere, then she says that she fell on the staircase. Third time she gives some another history. All these odd things were brought to the notice of the court, which show her guilty mind. Shri also even given different history. Once he said that he had fallen at Mahim on a scooter. When he was confronted with that CCTV footage, then only said he fell somewhere on the stair and like that. All false reasonings they have given.
This
And
is what
So,
therefore,
needs for
so,
them to
sir,
be guilty.
when you say, evidence is what speaks. Again, I come back to the fact that additionally, see, Janvi's blood was found on articles used by Dia after the incident. Additionally, personal items belonging to both Janvi and Dia, sandals, earrings were found scattered along the trail of blood
right,
from the fifth floor
yes.
to the second floor. So, knowing all this, if the judge continues to say that she's been given the benefit of doubt, I mean, nobody believes it.
Yeah, at least I myself do not believe. I myself do not believe. I have recommended challenging the order before the Honorable High Court. You said her earrings, her hair's band was also found on the place, and these facts have not been challenged during the course of evidence when the witnesses were giving their evidence. Their evidence had not been challenged on behalf of Dia. Everything accepted, and therefore the reasoning, according to us, is that it is discriminating between the two
Yeah.
accused.
Acts.
She is not fit
That's
for
the
giving
truth.
the benefit of
That
doubt.
is the truth. You have made segregation. This man should be
Yeah.
punished. The woman should not be punished. That
Yes.
you have made a decision. On what
Yeah.
basis it is? I mean, we need to know. That's what I'm
That has not come
asking.
on record.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
which mother who has seen her daughter murdered will take this kind of answer from any judge? Is a question, right?
Definitely, the when the matter will be going before the honorable court, I will be duty bound since I am giving the recommendation to the Home Department or Law and Judiciary. I will be duty bound not to support the judgment in its entirety. Partially, definitely, so far as the role of is correct, it has been correct. It has been considered in proper perspective. If Shri's lawyer in appeal raises such points, I will be there to oppose them and to convince the honorable court how the judgment is correct. But so far as the judgment in respect of Dia is concerned, I am not happy. I will not be supporting the reasoning in the judgment about her. And in fact, we are challenging it as the appeal against the acquittal.
Yeah.
The
So we
state will be
appreciate that.
challenging.
Yeah, appreciate that because you're being very frank, and it comes like a breath of fresh air. Now, viewers, we will continue to follow this case as it enters its sixth year because, as Nidhi reminds us, Janvi didn't just lose her life that night; she lost it in the company of people she trusted. And until every person on that staircase is held to account, the countdown to justice continues. So, this is something that we'll have to again wait and watch And when we have, learned, lawyers like Pradeep, I mean, who we actually hope, will give justice to us and
Yeah,
to Nidhi and her
I
family.
assure Jhanvi madam, Nidhi madam, that definitely will do everything to get justice to her daughter. We are also parents. We can think in her terms also, and definitely we do everything. And if the judge is doing any wrong, according to us, definitely we are taking in appeal and placing it before the court, higher court.
And I don't know, as a journalist, I hope what we have spoken today will also open the eyes of many people, including
Right,
people in the judiciary.
right.
Thank you, both of you, Nidhi and Pradeep ji.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank
Good
you
night.
very